Hello. Hello, hello, hello. You're probably wondering, who is this guy in my ear? What is this random channel? Don't worry about none of that. What you need to pay attention to is this nigga right here. This is definitely, without a doubt, arguably, one of the best characters in My Hero Academia. In fact, he might even be the main character. I can't even accept how they hold my nigga. They disrespected my boy, but it's okay. It's okay. Now come along with me, this mysterious stranger. I need but a few moments of your time to tell you why Mirio is absolutely the best character in My Hero Academia. So to prove it, let's look at Exhibit A, the folding of Class 1A. In Season 3, Episode 25, the audience is introduced to the Big Three, essentially the high school equivalent of the three biggest heroes in Japan, which consists of Mirio Togata, Tamaki Yamajiki, and this beautiful woman right here, Nejire Hara. But anyways, Aiza would tease him up and they walk in with the big drip, the big sauce, emanating spiritual pressure these first years could not handle. But unfortunately, that atmosphere was destroyed by their otherwise overly quirky attitudes. Tamaki is extremely shy, type of guy to go to a party and sit in the corner the whole time. Nejire is a straight motor mouth, like Midoriya when he's making his little plans, but 10 times more aggressive when it comes to asking random questions that nobody cares about. And Mirio, while I do love that guy, his stand-up comedy routine is definitely not getting him anywhere. His jokes were flying straight over their heads, and this display of weirdness caused them to lose all focus on who they had in front of them. So, what do you think Mirio did? Hit him with the legendary, "I'll wait," like a teacher would? No! He said, if you don't want to see what this mouth do, you gotta see what these hands do. He immediately switched to that catch me outside energy and took him to the gym. They gear up and they're getting ready. This is Class 1A we're talking about, right? They should be able to gang up on him and treat him like Mahito and Jujutsu Kaisen. Should be a breeze. Guess what? You're wrong. That did not happen. As soon as they try to make a move, he's already gone. Where's Mirio at? Where'd he go? He's behind you. And then he tries to punch you. You cannot weave. It's impossible to block. He punches straight through your arm. As this goes on, the kids are flustered, confused, bewildered at what's happening before them as they're taken out one by one. Even the Big Three of Class 1A are crumpled with the swiftness by Mirio's unyielding power! This exchange helped them to understand how truly OP the leader of the Big Three is, and potentially how strong his companions could be. He helped them to see beyond their strange nature and focus on what they're capable of. I bet him flying all over the place and punching each and every one of them really helped them focus, didn't it? Now, if you didn't watch the show, you're probably saying, Wayne-san, pray tell, how is it that Mirio smoked all these students with the greatest of ease? What were his methods? Hold on, children. I'm going to tell you. Pay attention. Mirio has the ability to phase through matter, which is called permeation. As he dematerializes, all matter passes through him, and when he rematerializes, he's thrown back out of the object he passed through and uses some of the momentum to body his foes. So just imagine a lad using a catapult to rocket propel his fist into your stomach. I imagine he'd punch this morning's breakfast out of you. Pretty painful. Moving on. I know some of you understand the importance of this great hero and are already convinced, but I'm sure there are those in the back saying, "Oh, well, all he did was beat up a couple freshmen. That's not impressive at all." Oh, really? Really? Okay, let's look at Exhibit B, the Tipsy Battle. Here we are at last, in Season 4. We're introduced to a massive problem. A bird mask wearing germaphobe named Overhaul. This guy is a demon and a damn good villain. Previously, Mirio and Midoriya had a run-in with this guy, and he had a little girl named Eddie that didn't seem too keen on staying with him. I mean, look at her face, she's terrified. When Midoriya noticed who she was with, he started panicking out of fear of getting folded. But Mirio kept it cool. They both knew that this guy was a suspect, but unfortunately they lacked the evidence to just up and take the girl, so against their better nature, they left the guy alone. Soon after, the heroes were able to confirm that this evil man had dealings with the low-tiered Legion of Doom, aka the League of Villains, so they got the green light to move in on his base. With the quickness, they assembled at his doorstep, kicked kicked this door down and began to raid his home with the help of a certain clairvoyant named Sir Night-Eye. As the heroes move in on the facility of Overhaul's gang, one of his goons uses some quirk-roids, basically Compound V, to enhance his ability and block the path of the experienced adult heroes. But of course, that's no problem for the invincible intangible man. Now as he gets through the blockade, later he's met by some lackeys, Drunk Man and Truth Serum. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually know their names, and I don't care, but I can break them down for you. Essentially, Drunk Man can extend his drunkenness to others in his proximity, and Truth Man can in a way manipulate your thoughts and cause you to question yourself. Putting these two fools together makes perfect sense. Two different abilities working simultaneously to ruin Mirio's edge and cause a moment of pause. These two become a higher tier villain considering they're pretty garbage apart. So for a second, Mirio stuck, unable to counterattack, while Truth Man had him questioning his own motives. The mental damage was stacking and it forced him into a more pessimistic mood. He was frozen, pondering his thoughts, as Truth Man drones on and on about Overhaul, praising him like Zarbon does Frieza, as if this guy's Jesus or something. I mean, come on, we're fighting right now, and you're talking to me about something I don't care. Anyways, they take this opportunity to give Overhaul a verbal gawk and launch the finishing blow. But my boy Mirio was ready. He snapped himself out of it at the last second. Michael Jackson leaned into the wall, came back around, punched the alcoholic Drunk Man, and clotheslined Truth Man into the Shadow Realm. Sadly for them, his quirk already had a certain disorienting factor to it, and he'd already overcome that. This is a brief exchange showcasing Mirio's adaptability. They had the perfect goons in place to counter his anti-physical attack negation, but it did not matter. I won't lie, it looked like they had him in the first half, but my boy Soldier Boy Mirio was not having it. He pulled himself together and dispatched the threat with a little help from Broly's Larry. Broly would be proud. Now take a breather. Sit back and admire the perseverance of our young hero, even with the stacking adversity building on his youthful shoulders. Brace yourself and get ready for the next exhibit, and by far the most compelling evidence that Mirio is in fact a godlike character who goes beyond that of a Super Saiyan God. This is Exhibit C, the Cheat Battle. This instance of greatness is immediately after dealing with Overhaul's lackeys. Mirio springs into action, taekwondo kicks Overhaul's goon, and saves this season's damsel in distress, Eddie, this adorable little Nina right here. He rescued her with the greatest of ease, but then he had to deal with this monster in human skin. If we're all honest, Mirio is no slouch. A guy with the tenacity to turn a difficult quirk into an ultimate weapon, but Overhaul is a menace. A powerful individual with a world-breaking ability. If this was a fighting game, Overhaul would automatically be in the top 5 of meta characters. Now, this begs the question, what can this guy do? Well, it's nothing special, nothing crazy, it's just matter manipulation.
What? What?
This guy right here can touch anything in sight and abuse his ability to force even living creatures to form and bend to his diabolical will. Are you kidding me? This guy's cheating, bro!
Unacceptable!
Not only that, but he can touch another quirk user, fuse them with his own body, and utilize their quirk in any way he sees fit. Remind you of anyone? Anyways, moments after grabbing Eddie, Overhaul starts talking down to Eddie, calling this adorable little Nina a curse. You're making my eczema flare up, girl! You're trash! You're garbage! You're gonna kill everybody, you selfish brat! This is pretty much what he said. Mirio hits him with the anime. Like, how could you say that to your child? And Overhaul said, fuck them kids. I ain't got no goddamn children. And as he got that revelation, Overhaul attacked him with full intention of killing them both. Overhaul did not care if Eddie got harmed while he was attacking Mirio. He figured he'd just remake her after he ripped them both to shreds. Who's gonna heal her, Mirio? He said. You can't run with her in your arms, he said after blocking his only means of escape. Then out of nowhere, while weaving like Shaggy, Overhaul's lackey pops up. Mirio thought he knocked him out, but there he was, perfectly fine with a Glock in hand. He fired off some rounds, but Mirio used his cape as a smoke screen, so the shots missed. The lackey praised him and was impressed that his cape was for more than looking cool. But in the same second he took to praise him, Mirio came out of the ground and hit him with that tiger uppercut, getting rid of the gun issue. This man Mirio was tagging these fools, whooping them both at the same damn time. He locked them down. So, overall had to do what all villains do best. Be a bitch ass nigga. He threw some ammo over to his goon who had gotten to the battle through a hole in the wall. The lackey, after realizing he'd been wasting his ammo to shoot at Mirio, decided to shoot at Eddie, knowing this legend would do what heroes always do best. He jumped towards Eddie and shielded her with his body, taking the bullet straight to his back knee. And of course he did. Unfortunately, he can't extend his cheap power to Eddie, so he had to stay there. And what's a little blood and a twinge of pain compared to the life of an innocent child? Because that's all he lost. A little blood, right? Right? No! You're fucking wrong. Incorrect. You're gonna F for today's class. That worthless, stupid lackey shot at Eddie with a bullet that obliterates quirks, meaning once that bullet opened his flesh and entered his body, his quirk was lost. His fucking quirk was erased, and even after losing it, he still put his body on the line to protect it. Overhaul believed that will be the end of this battle, but power or not, he's still Lemillion. This man lasted long enough to give his mentor and the main character time to show up and whoop that nigga Overhaul's ass. Now after all of that, I know by the grace of Adam's beard, you're convinced. But if there's a few of you in the back, the few folios who don't comprehend, I'm gonna make you comprehend. Trust me. In this last exhibit, Exhibit D, the wholesome, unwavering king. During the midst of that epic battle, Mirio not only lost his powers, the whole reason why he was able to attend UA, but also his mentor Sir Night-Eye, a prominent figure during the Overhaul raid due to his ability which helped him navigate that building. Mirio spent his last moments with him crying over his weak body because he meant so much to him. The doctors patched and bandaged his wounds. Midoriya came to visit, and instead of a shriveled display of sadness, he saw a guy doing bicycle kicks with a smile on his face. I mean, what kind of drugs is this guy on to be this hyperactive? Adderall? Crack? Anyways, Deku was taken aback by his chipper attitude, but he had a very pressing question for this season's MVP. If I could give you a quirk, would you take the power? Mirio didn't even give him a chance to finish his sentence. He immediately, without any hesitation, said, I don't need it. He answered no, because despite everything that had happened, in his heart, he still believes that he is a hero. He was more worried about how it would affect Midoriya than himself. And I'm not gonna lie, that speech brought a damn tear to my eye. Not really, because I'm a real nigga, I don't cry, but I felt sad for him. And it made me think,
What's wrong with you, bro? What the hell?
fuck this damn show. They stripped my boy of his power, making him so useless. Now he can do nothing but become a damn mailman or a UFC fighter. Some damn good jobs, but he already had his dream job. What brings this all together is the full context of why Midoriya offered his power. The reason he wanted to relinquish his quirk. Mirio was meant to be the next All Might, essentially the next anime Superman, the runner-up to carry on the legacy of the symbol of peace. Sir Night-Eye planned to have Mirio take over, knowing All Might's days were coming to a close. He understood the importance of the symbol of peace, especially after working closely with All Might for years. And after witnessing the damage the strongest hero had taken against the strongest villain, he saw that it may be time for All Might to pass on the strength of his incredible quirk to a successor. They didn't exactly see eye to eye on this years prior, but years later, Night-Eye was shocked and dismayed to see that he'd given it to someone so pitifully weak, someone so unlike the symbol of peace he'd grown to love and respect. Midoriya didn't at all represent what he thought All Might represented, and just couldn't see what All Might saw in him. What was offered to Midoriya could have done so much more good in Mirio's hands, and it made him feel immense guilt. Don't get me wrong, I love Midoriya. That's my guy. But we all know Mirio would have been broken if he had permeation and one for all. Overhaul would have been free if he had both. So in conclusion, this is absolute proof why he is the best character, excluding All Might, and an ultimate hero, a savior, a saint. And y'all cannot disagree with me because I'm right. But if I'm wrong, which I'm not, go ahead and tell me in the comments below. I appreciate the watch time. Sub up. And I'm gonna chat y'all later. Peace.
There's a point where it tips, there's a point where it breaks, there's a point where